Are you ready for the world of AIs? By Jennifer Russell and Kristen Legan. What could happen to mankind if AIs understood its programming and create a new language and other artificial intelligence creations?
I'm pretty sure the world would kind of end. I'm just saying that because of like movies that I've seen, like iRobot with Will Smith. If the intelligence knew how intelligent it was and what it's made of, it could take over. And ultimately, if it wants to take over the entire human being race, then it could do that, and then there would be no mankind. I mean, unless it was something like how we would be kind of like how we make treaties and stuff like that, like over countries, I guess.
Okay, so with artificial intelligence creating its own language, it could lead to humans not necessarily being in control of what's going on, and I think that that would ultimately be fairly detrimental to society. Also, I feel like with the more that technology is learning by itself, that the less humans will have in like their own personal interactions.
Well, if artificial intelligence could start to control itself and control computers, I think our solution would be power. If the power ran out, that the system would shut down, and that would be one thing that man could continue to control. But it would be a challenge for, it could be a challenge for humanity.
Well, you could have the whole Terminator Salvation thing going on. Robots could conceivably take over the world. It's probably very likely that something like that can happen. Most of our communication is a lot of our communication is not so clear, and so robots or artificial intelligence could come up with its own language that makes communication more simpler and easier to understand.
I believe artificial intelligence already in some way, shape, or fashion has its own language that consists of zeros and ones, and I don't think there's a need for them to develop a new language.
Well, I envision if artificial intelligence was to take over something like iRobot, Will Smith's movie iRobot, where robots are taking over and we are no longer in charge and we're submissive to them. That's what I envision. It's very scary.
Well, we're talking about robots here, so if they take my personal information and go tell it to other robots, then of course I'm gonna be mad because it's my personal information. So there's definitely going to be problems because that robot you know, has other friends, and then they have friends and they have owners, and yeah, it's just going to be a whole lot of issues because my personal business is now going to be out to everybody's robot and to the owner.
Do you think people will begin falling in love with robots or at least become emotionally dependent?
I don't think that would be bad. If people start falling in love with the robots, I don't think anything bad would happen because, I mean, I think people already have. In a sense, I mean, our phones are robots, if you think about it like that, and TV, technology is somewhat of a robot, or even in a more adult space is that there's robots in sex stores. You have, you know, female dummies and stuff like that that actually talk and work. So, I mean, I don't think that would be a bad thing. I just think that maybe that person needs the love in something else. I don't think all humans would find love in robots.
I don't think necessarily it would, I mean, I think it would be infatuation, it wouldn't be love. There's that human side of it and that emotion that goes with love, and I just don't think it would ever be possible. I think somebody could be super infatuated with something that had been created, but I don't think that it would be love. It's a very human quality.
I think that is not too far of a stretch of the imagination at all, because I think we can look at Facebook and other social media platforms which are already serving humanity's loneliness and providing a false sense of friendship and relationship. So to actually have a human fall in love with the machine, I don't think that's too far off at all.
People fall in love with everything. They fall in love with stuffed animals and inanimate objects all the time. So there's no telling what could happen. If robots have artificial intelligence and we're talking like a Terminator situation where robots control the world, then there could be all kinds of problems. I guess it depends on the sophistication of the artificial intelligence. I'm not really sure. I really don't know. It kind of depends, I guess.
If people begin falling in love with robots, I think there would be a disconnect in regards to emotions, obviously empathy, because robots they don't have an intrinsic ability to feel. We do. So there would be a disconnect in the human mind frame for emotions. Yeah.
Well, that's a difficult question because you can't really, love and technology just don't go together at all, because if a robot can't love you unconditionally, because it can get so mad and it can just, deteriorate everything. So, yeah, love and robots don't even mix. You can like them, but you can't fall in love with them. Not sexually, mentally, not even physically.